I was inspired to put yet another twist on my sweet potato pecan pound cake by infusing it with a cognac syrup. This is not something I normally do, but I was really inspired to try it. So let me show you how I made the syrup. We're going to melt in a saucepan 1.5 sticks of butter, a cup of sugar, a quarter cup of water, and a splash of vanilla. You want to melt that down and bring it to a boil. Once it starts boiling, you want that to boil for about 4 to 5 minutes and then pull it off of the heat. I'm right here just loosening my cakes from the pan. I made this while my cakes, just as soon as my cakes come out the oven. So remove it from the heat, add to it about a half a cup of cognac. So we have a hot syrup here, and we're going to pour that on the warm cakes. The cakes have just come out of the oven, and while they were sitting on the counter is when I made the syrup. So not very much time in between. I am taking a toothpick and poking several holes in the tops of these cakes, and then I'm just going to pour the syrup over. I cannot tell you exactly how much of this syrup I poured on each one of these cakes, but I can tell you this. I poured until I couldn't pour no more. In other words, the moment it looked like it was going to start overflowing, that's when I stopped pouring. You'll see that in a picture coming up here where you can see it just started to pool a little bit. What I did was I allowed these cakes to sit on my counter for 30 minutes. I didn't take them out the pans. I didn't touch them. I let the cakes continue to absorb this syrup for like 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I was able to flip them out the pans. No problem. So once we get the cakes out of the pans, we are still not done yet. I am going to take the rest of the syrup and brush as much of that on the tops of these cakes as I can. The goal here is to try to use up as much of this cognac syrup as possible. And once I complete brushing all of that syrup on the top, we're still not done. I'm still going to complete these cakes with my sweet buttermilk glaze, which is what my sweet potato pound cakes are known for having. And to make this glaze, you want to start with 2 tablespoons of melted butter, about a tablespoon or 2 of buttermilk, a splash of vanilla, a couple cups of powdered sugar, and you want to whisk that until smooth. Both of these recipes are on my YouTube channel, The Chef and the Baker RVA. Now we're also going to add just a little bit of cake batter extract to this, and also that's that bottle sitting right there. And also we're going to add about a couple of teaspoons more of the cognac to the buttermilk glaze. And then this is what we're going to dress our cakes with. This glaze is truly just as delicious as it looks. Trust me. Now, if you choose to add more cognac to this glaze, you absolutely can. It may just result in a thinner glaze, or you may have to just end up adding more powdered sugar. All of this is relative. You can do it to your liking. I'm just showing you how I did it because that was the consistency that I wanted. So here I am just glazing my cake again. I made this cake because I was inspired by the maker of this cognac to make this particular cake. And so, but I needed to make a small one first, which this one is, so that I could taste it before I sent it to him. So everybody who I let taste this cake so far has loved it. So if you try this cake for yourself, just know that the original recipes for the sweet potato pecan pound cake and the buttermilk glaze are over on my YouTube channel, and then all you have to do is just make the syrup. Now I got anxious and I wanted to taste a piece of it right away, and it was very good. It was you can taste, you can taste the cognac, but it's very balanced with the other glaze. But I can also tell you from experience, then when I tasted another slice the next day, it was even, the flavor was even more pronounced. It was very, very good. So it's one of those things that the longer it sits and the more it marinates, the better it gets. So if you try this recipe for yourself, just know, let it sit a day or so before you cut it if you can manage to wait. Happy baking.